What's up, YouTube? It's your guys, the Hotshot Hotwires, back at it again with a banger.
We hope you enjoyed our video on effects of microgravity on organisms.
Hello, welcome to the second part of our video on the effects of microgravity. How does microgravity affect plants? Microgravity has effects on plant growth due to the changes in auxin, which is the plant growth hormone. Seed production is reduced or completely eliminated in some species of plants, which can also be linked to changes in auxin. Another observation made on plants in simulated microgravity is the presence of a hydrotropic response that isn't usually there in normal gravity. Microgravity negatively impacts the reproductive and growth systems of plants. Seed production is drastically altered in some species. This picture shows the results of experiments on two species of plants. As the bar graph shows, the seed production was reduced in one and completely eliminated in the other. Hydrotropic response. Another observation made on plants in simulated microgravity is the presence of a hydrotropic response that isn't usually there in normal gravity. Hydrotropism means movement or growth towards water. In a microgravity experiment, the lateral roots of cucumber seedlings that usually grow perpendicular to the main root were growing at acute angles due to the presence of a wet surface, as shown in the bottom picture. From this, it can be inferred that the gravitropic response is stronger than the hydrotropic response, and therefore suppresses it in normal gravity conditions. How does microgravity affect bacteria? It has been shown that bacteria grown in conditions of microgravity have a greater virulence potential than bacteria grown in normal gravity. They also have increased resistance to environmental stressors. Conditions of microgravity increase the virulence potential of bacteria. In addition, the human immune system is weakened. This, combined with other conditions of living in space, can increase the threat of a serious infection. Mice infected with bacteria grown in simulated microgravity were shown to have a lower survival rate than mice infected with normally grown bacteria. Bacteria grown in microgravity have shown an increased resistance to various environmental stressors, including pH and heat. They have also shown an increased ability to survive against macrophages. All of these are problems for humans, especially because microgravity already leads to a weakened immune system. Basically, the immune system becomes weaker and the bacteria become tougher. How do scientists simulate microgravity? Since traveling to the International Space Station isn't feasible for most research institutions, it is necessary to be able to simulate microgravity on Earth. There are various methods that researchers use to conduct studies in which the absence of gravity is needed. Some of these methods include long-term bed rest, clinostats, and zero-gravity flights. Long-term bed rest is used in studies about changes in body mass. It is also used in studies about muscle deconditioning and atrophy because when a person is lying down for prolonged periods of time, their muscles aren't getting used. Long-term bed rest has also been used to try to develop resistive techniques for overcoming muscle atrophy in space. Clinostats are perhaps the most widely used and feasible method of simulating microgravity. They consist of a disk that rotates slowly along an axis. The slow horizontal rotation causes the cell or cells in the sample to be unable to adapt to the gravitational pull at a given point, which creates an effect of microgravity. Clinostats can use various types of samples, and they are also very versatile. They can simulate both long-term and short-term microgravity, and they can simulate different magnitudes of gravitational force by changing the angle at which the clinostat is rotating at. Boarding a zero-gravity flight is the most practical way for non-astronauts to experience weightlessness. These flights follow a parabolic flight path, and at different stages of the parabola, different gravitational forces are experienced, as shown in the figure. Since this period of weightlessness is short, zero-gravity flights are generally used to study the responses of various processes and systems to microgravity for at most 30 seconds. Please watch our video on freefall and gravity to understand how freefall causes weightlessness. These are some of the sources of information that were used in these slides. These are some additional sources of information. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Please slam a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell as hard as you can.